One other large project that a lot of people don't actually know about, we did just release a video on it, was the Viper project, which was for the owner out at Putnam Park. That was a really fun project where we actually built the Aero and did a lot of the work on it as well. It didn't go as fast as we wanted to, but that was, we were doing some teething issues as far as suspension, and the Viper has a really not great motion ratio. So high downforce kind of struggles with that. We're still working through that. But anyways, what were some cool takeaways from that car? What did you do on that car that's different than others?
I guess that was the first car we had brake cooling incorporated in a CFD model, which was pretty interesting on my end. Not probably for anyone else, but I thought it was cool. The splitter is kind of unique in the way that we did the air dam built into the splitter. We haven't done that on any car since or previous. So that was definitely unique on that car. But my favorite part of the car is actually the bottom mount V2X, because that was the first car we did a bottom mount on. And I think it actually looks, I think it's one of the better looking cars that we've done Aero on because of that. Just on looks wise, I think the car looks awesome. I'm also biased because I really like Vipers. So I'm a little biased on that, but I think it looks really cool. And we were able to incorporate the same wing with some small tweaks to the internal to make it work, which is pretty cool to design something for being a swan neck. It's 100% purpose built for that. And then talking to our manufacturer and being like, hey, how can we make this a bottom mount? And then like, oh, you need to, we can put the mounts, we can put the aluminum pucks here. Now you gotta make the mounts, and then that made the mounts actually super unique to actually hit it. So like, if you look at the car, the mounts go pretty far forward up to the front of the wing, and that's because of how the internal structure of the wing is and actually have that mounting purposes. So I think that was probably the splitter and then that are the most unique things that I think is actually really cool.
Something that Chris really was, or at least made challenging for us, in my opinion, was he was very, very into the looks.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like show him CAD and then him make fun of us. And then we would fix it, and then he would make fun of us again, and then we would fix it again. And it was like a very iterative process as far as like, we come up with a design concept, he'd hate it, and then we would fix it, and then we would hate it, and then we'd fix it. And he had a very specific mindset, and I do agree, at the end of the day, he wasn't wrong.
The car looks awesome now. I love the way the car looks.
Yeah.
Out of all the cars we've ever done, I think that's the best looking car. Again, I'm biased. I like Vipers, so take it with what you will, but I think the car looks awesome.
Yep. And then we did actually end up producing it and installing it here. One of the other things that I remember which was challenging was the front splitter. We had a very large front splitter initially to get that balance. How did you bring the balance back to where you wanted it with how small he wanted it, because he was worried about loading it on and off trailers, which is totally fair.
So we had to get a little creative with the diffusers, and then the front fender vents were the other big one. And we just kept making the fender vents bigger and bigger and bigger, because honestly it didn't make the car look weird. So we keep making it bigger without making it look weird, because again, Vipers are huge in the front. Like, they're twice as long in the front as they are the rear. It's a little odd shape in general. So
you're driving closer to the rear wheels than the front wheels, that's for damn sure.
And so it was one of the first things where I'm like, okay, I made it this size, test it. Okay, we got this delta. Okay, let's increase it 3 inches. Okay, it went up. Let's increase it 3 inches again. Okay, it went up. And it just kept going up and up and up by making the fender vent larger and larger and larger, until obviously you can't really make it much larger, because then it's just silly looking. So kind of maximizing that, and then once we kind of maximize that, okay, we need a little bit more. Okay, how can we get a little bit more? We can kind of tweak the diffuser shapes, get a little bit more expansion out of them. Most of that I think was actually tweaking the center diffuser and getting a little bit more out of that. It's not very big, but honestly with how wide a center diffuser is on the splitter, you don't really have to have that big of expansion to make a good amount of downforce, because really you want to even out that distribution across the whole front of the splitter. And surprisingly, very small changes to diffusers can change totally how that load distribution is, and you could fill in a giant pocket with a small gain in expansion. So those two combinations made it so we could get enough front downforce on that car. I guess another unique thing was, isn't that the first car we did the incorporated grind plates?
Yeah, we did.
So that was another one.
UHMW.
Yeah, which I wouldn't do it like I did on that car again, but.
We fixed it on the BBI car.
Yeah.
So we learned from that car.
So the BBI one had a better grind plate setup.
Yeah.
So it's not like they come to us and we want Aero. Okay, but like most people actually, it's their car. They have a certain vision that they want. And like at the end of the day, you're trying to like help them achieve what they want, not really what you want. So it's catering to them to get exactly what they need. Like the difference between what Chris wanted with the Viper and what Carol wants with the BMW are two totally different things. And you can't just have like a one size fits all, like, oh, I slapped this splitter on with this specific thing and this specific wing, and there you go, figure it out. It's not really, like, I don't think that's a good solution. It's not a good solution to an engineering problem, and I feel like we try to tackle the engineering problem and listen to the customer of what they want, and then figure out how to achieve that under these given parameters, which is why we can cater towards, like, Dassault 68 Camaro, Carol's, I don't even know what you call it, M4, DTM craziness, and the Viper. Those are like total opposite of every corner, like of a triangle, and can cater to it. And that's a lot different than a lot of other people who you would say take those same cars to them and say, I want Aero, you're gonna get very similar designs for all three of them, whereas we have three very different designs for all of them.